I am DalTX Colts fan from the 2+2 forums. I'm a losing microstakes player, but I have a very strong opinion about slow playing in the microstakes that I would like to talk about. Let me just see if any of these sound familiar. You've been playing and playing and playing, you've been getting dealt crap cards all day, you're c-betting and getting raised, or you're just running really bad, and finally you get aces before the flop. Somebody raises behind you, you're like, yes, you 3-bet, and he folds, and you scoop up the 4.5 big blind pot. Or worse, you get your aces and you open them from the hijack and you scoop up the blinds. And then, or you wait and wait and wait and you finally flop a set. The PFR c-bets into you, you raise his c-bet, and he folds. You're thinking, I want somebody's stack, gosh darn it, every time I raise, they fold. Or how about the times it works against you? You'll have ace-king before the flop, you'll get a call, you'll flop rags, you'll barrel because that's what you do when you flop rags. The turn will be an ace, and you'll bet and get a call, and you're hoping he's calling you with a pocket pair or something like that, but then you barrel the river too, you get raised, and the villain had actually flopped a set and was slow playing you. Or worse, actually similarly, you'll be in the cutoff with ace jack. You'll of course raise it, you'll get flatted by the button, you'll flop something like top 2 pair, and then by the time you get to the river you found out that the villain had actually slow played aces before the flop. So, personally, for the longest time, when I was playing and playing and playing, and finally I'd get aces before the flop, or finally I would flop a set, I was always afraid to raise. I mean, I was just like, okay, I finally have a monster hand, I have to make money with it. I don't want to raise, I don't want to just get folds, because it may be a long time before I get another one. And also, I remembered all the times it worked against me, all the times I got suckered by someone who who slow played a set. So I see so many people on the microstakes doing this. You finally hit your monster hand and you slow play it. I just think that's wrong. You're sacrificing a lot of. I understand why. I understand why they do it. It's just what I'm saying here. They do it. A lot of people slow play sets because they get so many folds when they don't. They think that raising it is the wrong move. Or the same with aces and kings pre-flop. They flat with them instead of 3-betting with them because they get so many folds that they start thinking that 3-betting them is wrong. So I understand why people do it, and if you're one of those people, I have a solution for you. Open up your database, open your poker tracker or open your hem database, filter it down to hands where you flopped a set and then either bet out or raised, and then filter it down to where you flopped a set and either checked or called. You will be astonished at how much more money you're winning when you play it aggressively. And you can do a similar exercise for when you have aces or kings before the flop. Compare your win rates to when you're playing them aggressively versus when you're just flat calling with them before the flop. The reason your win rates are so much higher when you play them aggressively is because when you do slow play your flopped set, you give up all the extra value you could have gotten from a villain who would have stacked off with you. And it really adds up. I mean, you think, oh, I just want to get the 7 big blind half pot turn bet, or I want to get the 10 big blind river bet or whatever. But if you can get him to stack off with you on the flop, you're looking at 100 big blinds or even more if he's deep stacked. The other thing to think about too is Sklansky's fundamental theorem of poker. One of the ways you make money playing poker is by making less mistakes than the other guy. Blackrain says this very, very well. Your opponents cannot make mistakes unless you give them the chance to make mistakes. So when you slow play, like suppose you flop a set and he flops a straight draw or a flush draw. Like if he was the PFR and he raised ace queen suited and he flops a flush draw and you flop a set, of course he's gonna. Oh wow, some pretty bad weather outside. Anyway, of course he's gonna c-bet there. He always does. And if you just call his c-bet, you make it very easy for him to play the hand correctly. As I say down here, especially if he's in position. If you're out of position and you check to him and you just call his c-bet and then you check to him on the turn, if he's on a draw, he can take a free turn card on you. So really, you want to give the other guy a chance to make a mistake. Give him a chance to be on tilt. Give him a chance to think you are on a draw. Give him a chance to have an overpair he can't fold. And then as Black Rain says, get the money in now, count your money later, thank me later. Really, so the bottom line is I understand why so many people slow play in the micro stakes. You remember the times it worked on you. You get so tired of the folds. You want to just scrape and claw for every big blind you can get. But the bottom line is when you have a huge hand, you should be trying to win a huge pot. If you want to win small pots, win them with small hands. Hope this made sense.